7 harsh tips for elderly people. Aging is a journey unlike any other, a time when we face new challenges, confront hidden truths, and uncover deeper layers of ourselves. It's not always easy, and the world doesn't always prepare us for the realities of growing older. The comforting narratives of youth often fade, replaced by harsh, undeniable lessons. Yet, within these truths lies an opportunity to transform our later years into a time of empowerment, dignity, and profound inner peace. In this video, we'll explore 7 hard-hitting yet essential life lessons for elderly people. These are not soft words of encouragement, but bold, honest insights meant to inspire strength and clarity. Whether it's learning to live in the present, setting boundaries with family, or letting go of the need for external validation, each of these tips has the power to reshape your perspective and bring lasting fulfillment. If you're ready to reclaim your time, protect your peace, and live authentically, stay with us until the end. And don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to our channel for more transformative advice. Your best years can still be ahead. Let's uncover how. 1. Live in the present, the gift of now. As we grow older, our memories become cherished treasures, offering comfort and connection to the past. The laughter of family gatherings, the excitement of youthful adventures, the love shared with those who are no longer with us, all of these moments are rich, vivid, and meaningful. But when we cling too tightly to those memories, we risk losing something just as precious: the present moment. Nostalgia, though sweet, can quietly become a trap. It can lure us into comparing the past to the present, often with a lens that romanticizes what was and undervalues what is. You may find yourself thinking, "Things were so much better back then," or "If only I could relive those days." While it's natural to reflect on the past with fondness, dwelling there can blind us to the beauty and possibilities of today. When this happens, we risk letting the present, our only real time to act, grow, and experience life, slip through our fingers. Consider this. Have you ever missed a moment of joy because you were too busy comparing it to how things used to be? Perhaps a family gathering felt less fulfilling because it didn't match the warmth of gatherings from decades ago. Or maybe you hesitated to embrace a new friendship, thinking it could never compare to the deep connections you've lost. These comparisons can rob you of the happiness and meaning waiting to be discovered in the here and now. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully present, offers a powerful antidote to this nostalgia trap. It encourages us to focus on what is unfolding right before us, to savor the taste of our morning coffee, to notice the warmth of sunlight streaming through the window, or to listen intently to the laughter of a loved one. By anchoring ourselves in the present, we open our hearts to joy and fulfillment in ways that the past simply cannot provide. Take Sarah, for example, a retired school teacher who spent years reminiscing about her time in the classroom. She often felt disconnected from her current life, convinced that her best years were behind her. But one day, she made a simple yet transformative choice. Instead of lamenting what she no longer had, she focused on what she could create now. Sarah started volunteering at a local library, sharing stories with children. Through this, she found a new sense of purpose and a deeper appreciation for the present. The past didn't lose its value, but it no longer overshadowed her present joy. The truth is, life is happening now. Each sunrise brings a chance to create new memories, form meaningful connections, and rediscover what makes your heart sing. No matter your age, there are still books to read, songs to sing, meals to share, and sunsets to watch. There's still room for love, laughter, and learning, but only if you allow yourself to step out of the shadow of yesterday and into the light of today. Does this mean letting go of the past entirely? Absolutely not. Our memories are a part of who we are. They shape us and give us strength, but they are chapters in our story, not the entire book. By honoring them without letting them define us, we can move forward with clarity and intention. So how can you start living in the present? Begin by asking yourself, what brings me joy right now? It might be a hobby, a conversation with a friend, or simply sitting in silence and appreciating the world around you. Practice gratitude daily by acknowledging the small, often overlooked blessings in your life. And most importantly, remind yourself that your story isn't over, it's still unfolding. When you choose to live in the present, you embrace life as it is, with all its imperfections and surprises. You free yourself from the weight of what was and open your heart to what can still be. This moment, right here, is a gift. Don't let it pass by unnoticed. Embrace it, cherish it, and live it fully. 2. Stop living to please others. For much of life, many of us are conditioned to put others first. As children, we're taught to be generous and selfless. As adults, we dedicate ourselves to our families, careers, and communities. While there is beauty in giving, the truth is that constantly prioritizing others, especially at the expense of our own needs, can slowly erode our happiness, health, and sense of self. As we age, this toll becomes even heavier, and it's time to shift the focus inward. Consider how often you've sacrificed your own desires to meet someone else's expectations. Maybe you've put off hobbies or dreams to care for others. Perhaps you've bent over backward to keep the peace in family conflicts or to ensure everyone else's needs were met, only to find yourself left with a lingering sense of emptiness. Over time, this endless cycle of giving can feel less like an act of love and more like a burden, a weight that keeps you from living your life authentically and joyfully. The truth is, when we make a habit of living to please others, we often sacrifice more than we realize: our energy, time, and even our health. Think about the sleepless nights spent worrying about how to meet someone's expectations, or the stress of constantly feeling like you have to say yes to every request, even when your body and mind are begging you to rest. These sacrifices can leave us feeling drained, resentful, and unfulfilled. The harsh reality is that no matter how much you give, it may never feel like enough to others. People can come to expect your sacrifices as a given, rarely stopping to ask what you need in return. And while you may hold on to the hope that one day they'll acknowledge your efforts or repay your kindness, that day might never come. So the question becomes, if you don't prioritize yourself, who will? Reclaiming your time and energy starts with setting boundaries, a skill many of us struggle with, but one that is essential for self-care. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about preserving what's sacred to you, your health, your peace, and your happiness. Start small. Practice saying no to things that don't serve you or align with your needs. If a family member asks for a favor and you feel obligated to say yes, pause and ask yourself, does this feel right for me? If the answer is no, it's okay to decline, lovingly but firmly. Boundaries also mean being honest about what you can and cannot give. For instance, if a relative repeatedly seeks financial help, explain your limits clearly. You might say, I care about you, but I need to ensure my own well-being first. Similarly, if your energy is depleted from social commitments, it's okay to prioritize rest over attending every event. True loved ones will understand and respect your boundaries. Those who don't may not have your best interests at heart. Self-care isn't selfish, it's essential. Think of it as refueling your car before a long journey. If you don't take the time to recharge, you won't have the energy to give to the people and activities that truly matter to you. Self-care might look like enjoying a quiet cup of tea in the morning, taking a walk in nature, or rediscovering an old hobby that brings you joy. It could also mean spending time in solitude, reflecting on what you truly want from this stage of life. Remember, this is your time, your golden years. You've spent decades taking care of others, and now it's time to nurture yourself. Instead of seeing self-care as a luxury, recognize it for what it truly is, a right. You deserve to live a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling, free from the constant pressure to meet others' demands. Imagine waking up each day with the freedom to do what makes you happy, without the weight of others' expectations. Picture a life where you feel energized, at peace, and deeply connected to your own desires. This isn't selfishness. It's a necessary shift that allows you to show up for others from a place of abundance rather than exhaustion. So, let this be your call to action. Stop living solely to please others. Begin to see yourself as deserving of the same care and love you so freely give to everyone else. Your happiness is worth it. And when you take care of yourself, you not only enrich your own life, but also set an example for others, showing them the importance of valuing their own well-being. 3. Set boundaries with family. Family is often seen as the cornerstone of our lives, a source of belonging, love, and identity. Yet, as we age, the dynamics within our families can become increasingly complex. Balancing loyalty to loved ones with the need to protect our own mental and emotional well-being can feel like walking a tightrope. But here's the truth. Maintaining your peace and happiness sometimes requires you to draw lines, even with those closest to you. The idea of setting boundaries with family can feel uncomfortable, even harsh. Society often tells us that family bonds should be unconditional, that love means accepting every behavior and sacrifice without complaint. Yet, this mindset can lead to deep emotional pain when family relationships become one-sided, toxic, or exploitative. Maybe it's a child who only calls when they need something, a sibling who constantly criticizes your choices, or a grandchild who takes your generosity for granted. While these connections may feel unbreakable, they shouldn't come at the expense of your self-respect or mental health. Letting go of guilt is the first step in setting boundaries. Many people feel that saying no or stepping back from a relationship is selfish or disloyal. But in reality, boundaries are a form of love, both for yourself and for the other person. By creating clear lines, you teach others how to respect you, and you give them the opportunity to grow. After all, true love and respect cannot exist in a relationship where one person is constantly giving and the other is only taking. To start, reflect on the relationships in your life that feel draining or one-sided. Are there family members who seem to only value you for what you can give them? Do you feel anxious or unappreciated after spending time with certain people? These are signs that boundaries are needed. For example, if a child or sibling frequently asks for financial help without considering your own situation, it's okay to set limits. You might say, "I've helped you before, but I need to focus on my own financial stability now." It's important to remember that setting boundaries isn't about cutting people off or creating distance out of spite. It's about fostering healthier dynamics where mutual respect can thrive. This might mean having honest conversations about how you feel. You can express your love while also being firm about your needs. For instance, "I care about you deeply, but I need to take better care of myself. I hope you can understand that." These conversations may feel awkward at first, but they are necessary for creating relationships that uplift rather than drain you. Breaking free from toxic dynamics doesn't mean you love your family any less. It means you're choosing to prioritize your mental and emotional health so that you can show up as your best self. Imagine how much more fulfilling your relationships could be if they were built on genuine care and respect rather than obligation or resentment. This shift not only benefits you, but can also inspire others in your family to reevaluate their own behaviors and grow. Take the example of Linda, a retired nurse who spent years as the go-to caregiver in her family. Relatives would call her for every small inconvenience, expecting her to drop everything to help. Over time, Linda felt exhausted and taken for granted. When she finally set boundaries, limiting her availability and prioritizing her own health, some family members resisted at first. But as they adjusted, they began to appreciate her more and even learned to take responsibility for their own needs. Linda's relationships grew stronger because she had the courage to put herself first. Setting boundaries doesn't mean abandoning your family. It means redefining your relationships in a way that honors both you and them. It's a way of saying, I love you, but I love myself too. Healthy boundaries create space for deeper connections, free from the resentment and exhaustion that come with constantly sacrificing yourself. So, as you navigate the complexities of family loyalty and personal well-being, remember this. You deserve to be treated with the same kindness and respect you extend to others. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are bridges to healthier, more fulfilling relationships. By protecting your peace, you not only improve your own life, but also create the foundation for family connections rooted in love, respect, and mutual understanding. 4. Do not blindly trust everyone. As we age, we often find ourselves yearning for connection, a desire for companionship, understanding, and kindness. This is a natural and beautiful part of the human experience. However, this need for connection can also make older adults particularly vulnerable to manipulation. In a world where not everyone has pure intentions, it's essential to develop discernment and guard your trust carefully. Loneliness, a frequent companion in later years, can sometimes cloud judgment. Imagine an elderly woman named Carol, whose children live far away. Carol meets a neighbour, John, who often stops by for coffee and conversation. At first his visits seem kind, even comforting. But over time, John begins to ask for small loans, always with promises to pay her back. Feeling grateful for his companionship, Carol agrees, not realizing that his charm masks self-serving intentions. When the repayments never come and John's visits dwindle, Carol is left not only financially strained, but emotionally hurt. Unfortunately, situations like Carol's are all too common. Some people prey on the kindness, generosity, or vulnerability of older adults, knowing they may be less likely to question motives. Manipulative individuals might exploit your trust for financial gain, emotional control, or even simply for the satisfaction of holding influence over you. These scenarios aren't limited to neighbours or acquaintances. They can occur within families or among close friends as well. It's important to remember that trusting wisely doesn't mean shutting yourself off from the world. It means being intentional about where you place your trust and being willing to observe patterns in others' behaviour. Start by paying attention to how people act over time. Do their words align with their actions? Are they present only when they need something from you? True connections are built on mutual respect and consistency, not on opportunism. Setting boundaries is another powerful tool for protecting yourself. If someone asks for a favour, financial assistance, or an emotional investment that feels uncomfortable, it's okay to say no. Boundaries aren't about rejecting people. They're about protecting your peace. For example, if a friend constantly asks for favors but never offers support in return, you can choose to limit your involvement in their life without feeling guilty. Your time, energy, and resources are precious, and it's important to use them wisely. Listening to your instincts is equally crucial. If something feels off about a person's intentions, trust that feeling. Often, our intuition senses red flags before our conscious mind does. Don't be afraid to take your time to evaluate new relationships. Genuine people will respect your cautious approach and won't pressure you to make hasty decisions. To further safeguard your well-being, involve trusted advisors or loved ones in major decisions, particularly those involving finances or significant commitments. For instance, if someone approaches you with a business opportunity or a request for a loan, take the time to discuss it with a family member, friend, or financial advisor you trust. A second perspective can help you see things more clearly and avoid potential pitfalls. Technology can also play a role in protection. Scammers often target older adults with phone calls, emails, or online schemes designed to exploit trust. Stay informed about common scams and educate yourself on recognizing them. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Don't hesitate to hang up on suspicious calls or ignore unsolicited emails. Protecting your peace is far more important than being polite to a stranger. The goal isn't to live in suspicion, but to cultivate discernment, a skill that allows you to enjoy meaningful relationships while shielding yourself from harm. By trusting with care, you create a circle of connections that uplift and enrich your life rather than drain or exploit you. Imagine a life where every relationship feels genuine and supportive, where you can confidently rely on those around you. This is possible when you combine openness with discernment. The people who truly care about you will understand your need for boundaries and your desire to protect your well-being. They won't take offense at your caution. They'll respect it as a sign of your self-respect. So, as you navigate the relationships in your life, remember, trust is a gift, and not everyone deserves it. Guard your heart, your peace, and your resources fiercely. The connections you build with care will bring you not only joy, but the reassurance that you are valued for who you are, not for what others can take from you. 5. Embrace change. It's never too late. There's a pervasive myth that aging marks the end of personal growth and transformation, as though life's opportunities close their doors once you reach a certain age. This couldn't be further from the truth. Aging isn't a signal to stop growing. It's an invitation to embrace change with a depth of wisdom and clarity you didn't have before. Far from being a finish line, this stage of life can be a powerful launchpad for new possibilities, if only you allow yourself to see it that way. Consider this. Every chapter of your life has brought challenges, growth, and transformation. As a child, you learned to navigate the world around you. As an adult, you faced the complexities of work, relationships, and family. Why should aging be any different? The difference now is that you have a lifetime of experience to guide you. You're equipped with insights and resilience that younger generations can only dream of. These qualities make you uniquely suited to tackle new adventures and explore passions you may have set aside. Take Clara, for example, a 72-year-old widow who always dreamed of painting but never had the time while raising her family and working full-time. After retiring, she finally picked up a paintbrush and began taking art classes at her local community centre. At first, she felt out of place among younger students, but as she poured her heart into her art, something remarkable happened. she rediscovered a sense of purpose and joy she hadn't felt in decades. Today, Clara sells her paintings at local galleries and finds immense pride in her work. Her age didn't limit her. It fueled her creativity and gave her art a depth born of her life experiences. Stories like Clara's aren't rare. They're just underappreciated. So often people let fear or complacency hold them back, thinking, "I'm too old for that," or "what if I fail?" But ask yourself this: what's the real risk in trying something new at this stage of life? Failure might sting briefly, but the regret of never trying is far more painful and lasting. The truth is, you're never too old to reinvent yourself, learn a new skill, or chase a long-held dream. The key is to shift your mindset from "what if I can't" to "why not?" The benefits of embracing change go far beyond personal fulfillment. Engaging in new activities keeps your mind sharp, your body active, and your spirit alive. Whether it's learning a new language, joining a book club, starting a garden, or traveling to a place you've always wanted to visit, each new endeavor adds richness and vitality to your life. Even small changes, like trying a new recipe or taking a different walking route, can infuse your days with a sense of adventure and curiosity. Aging also offers a unique advantage: the freedom to pursue what truly matters to you. Earlier in life, obligations like work and family often took precedence over personal passions. Now you have the time and space to explore what brings you joy. Use this freedom to listen to your heart. What have you always wanted to do? What interests have you put on hold? The answers to these questions can lead you to a fulfilling new chapter. Of course, embracing change can feel daunting. It requires stepping out of your comfort zone and letting go of the idea that you need to have everything figured out. But remember, every stage of life has its challenges, and you've overcome so many already. This stage is no different. The courage it takes to start something new is the same courage you've drawn on countless times before, and it's still within you. Imagine how your life could expand if you welcomed change with open arms. Picture yourself discovering a hidden talent, forming new friendships, or achieving something you once thought impossible. These aren't just fantasies, they're opportunities waiting for you to claim them. By embracing change, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. So take that first step, no matter how small. Sign up for a class, pick up a hobby, or simply say yes to an experience you've been hesitant to try. Trust that your age is not a barrier, but a bridge to new horizons. You've spent a lifetime learning, growing, and adapting. Now is the time to channel that wisdom into a future full of purpose and possibility, because it's never too late to change, to dream, or to become the person you've always wanted to be. Aging isn't the end, it's a beginning, and the possibilities are as limitless as you allow them to be. Sixth, let go of the need for external validation. For much of our lives, we're taught to seek approval from others. From the praise of a parent or teacher in childhood to the recognition of peers, colleagues, or family in adulthood, external validation becomes a measure of our worth. But as we age, clinging to this need for acknowledgement can lead to profound disappointment. The painful truth is that the appreciation we long for, whether from our children, friends, or society, might never come in the way we hope. Consider how many times you've silently wished someone would notice your sacrifices, the nights spent working late to provide for your family, the years devoted to raising children, or the quiet, unseen acts of kindness you offered without hesitation. Now ask yourself, what happens when that acknowledgement doesn't come? For many, the answer is resentment. a bitter feeling that can overshadow the love and generosity you've shared throughout your life. But here's the empowering truth. You don't need anyone else to validate your worth. Your sacrifices, efforts, and achievements hold intrinsic value because they came from your heart. The act of giving, striving, and caring is meaningful in itself, regardless of whether it's recognized by others. Waiting for someone else's gratitude places your peace in their hands, but honoring yourself means reclaiming that power. This shift in perspective is liberating. Instead of replaying moments when you felt overlooked, focus on the pride you can feel for all you've done. Reflect on the countless ways you've contributed to the lives of others, and let that be enough. You've shown love, strength, and resilience, qualities that don't require external applause to shine. Letting go of the need for validation also frees you to live more authentically. Without the pressure to meet others' expectations, you can prioritize what truly matters to you. Whether it's nurturing a passion, reconnecting with yourself, or simply finding joy in quiet moments, this is your time to honor your journey. So, take a deep breath and release the weight of waiting. You are enough just as you are, and the life you've lived is a testament to your worth. Let that be your validation, and let it guide you toward peace and fulfillment in the years ahead. 7. Moderation in habits. A balanced life. In every stage of life, balance is the cornerstone of well-being. As we grow older, the need for intentionality in how we spend our time becomes even more crucial. Habits that once served as sources of comfort or stress relief may no longer bring the same satisfaction they once did. One example of this is the habit of masturbation, which, while natural and healthy in moderation, can become a substitute for deeper fulfillment if relied upon too heavily. It's important to understand that there's nothing inherently wrong with seeking physical pleasure. It's a natural part of being human. However, when any habit becomes a frequent coping mechanism for boredom, loneliness, or frustration, it risks leaving us feeling emptier instead of fulfilled. Rather than allowing this cycle to take hold, it's worth exploring ways to bring balance into every corner of life, especially in how we find joy and satisfaction. The key to achieving balance is redirecting your focus toward activities that enrich your body, mind, and soul. Physical pleasure, while valuable, is only one piece of the puzzle. Consider the joy of a leisurely morning walk, feeling the sunlight on your skin and hearing the chirping of birds. Imagine the satisfaction of getting lost in a good book, solving a puzzle, or expressing yourself through art or music. These activities offer not just temporary pleasure, but also a lasting sense of fulfillment. Social connections are another powerful way to bring balance into your life. Sharing a meaningful conversation with a friend, joining a community group, or volunteering can fill the emotional spaces that habits alone cannot. These interactions remind us of the richness of life and the importance of human connection. Even quiet moments of self-reflection or meditation can provide profound satisfaction. By centering yourself and practicing mindfulness, you can tap into a deeper sense of peace and gratitude for the life you're living. Moderation doesn't mean giving up pleasure, it means expanding it. When you embrace a balanced approach, every part of your life can contribute to your happiness. By diversifying how you nurture yourself, you open the door to a fuller, richer experience of life, one that satisfies not just your body, but also your mind and spirit. A journey toward peace and fulfillment. As we've explored today, aging isn't a time of decline, it's a time of transformation, a chance to embrace the wisdom you've gained and shape your life with intention. Each of the truths we've shared, from living in the present and setting boundaries to embracing change and letting go of external validation, is a tool to help you reclaim your dignity, peace, and fulfillment. These lessons are not just about facing life's realities, but about finding strength and beauty within them. Now is the time to take charge of your journey. You've lived a life full of experiences, and every choice you make today is a step toward the joy, serenity, and authenticity you deserve. Trust yourself, protect your peace, and know that it's never too late to write a new chapter filled with purpose and possibility. If today's video resonated with you, let us know in the comments. Share your thoughts or even a tip you've discovered on your own journey. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear these truths, and subscribe to our channel for more content designed to inspire and empower you. Your best years are still ahead. Embrace them fully.